Well, hi, we're back, and we're doing something a little different today as per the title. I came across a video on YouTube by WAYLAN MvPHEARSON, who has his own channel. He's a builder, a repairer, and a player. And he has also contended with pickups that you're either too tinny or too bassy, so muddy or trebly. And he has a couple of videos out on both of these things, and this is one of the circuits he's put on one of his channels. This is for the muddy pickup. So what you do is you basically tune an inline capacitor with the hot side of your signal with a resistor in parallel to wherever they normally would connect to. And here, well, you can do the same thing with the humbucker if they're a 2-wire, but he says if they're a 4-wire, it works better if you put them in the middle. However, if you do this, splitting is not an option anymore. Haven't tested this on a humbucker or this, but I decided that I was going to build myself a little jig to do that, because you know I like jigs, right? So I bought some parts, and remember my little frenzy box that from the fuzz that I bought, a Rowan fuzz? Well, I kept it because I wanted to repurpose it, and I've repurposed it. So basically what this turns out to be like is a circuit that looks like that. And what we have is an in and out, and the in and the out on this is important because you want to be able to put the signal straight through in bypass. I forgot to write bypass there. Bypass, or have the switch open and then have the signal go through the capacitor with the resistor in parallel. And what I've done is put in there a 500K resistor in series with a 10K. So when the pot is turned fully down, there's only 10K across there, because I don't want it going to 0. It'll do the same thing as the switch. And then when you go to the top, it'll go to 516K, because this pot's a little bit over 500. So by tuning this bandpass circuit, which is basically a filter, you may be able to find what value resistor you should put in series with your 0.01 microfarad capacitor. And he recommends this value that he uses all the time, so I'm figuring he's an expert. And he selects resistors, but I thought, well, he made a jig for something else I'm going to show you, but I thought, maybe a jig for this is good too. And I thought, I have just a tiny little box to do that with. So my in and out is using the same jacks that was there before. And you can see that this is very, very congested and tight now, because my pot is a dime size that I just got to fit in there beside the jack. There's the little blue capacitor right there on the pins, and then that jumps over the top and it goes to the 2 jacks, and then a bypass switch is wired down there between the 2 of them. So that's when it's in the off mode or series capacitance, and then that's when it's in bypass mode. So you can hear the difference between where you've selected it and not. This is a good feature, right? And then what you do is, if you find that, say it's about there, then you take your meter like this. Let me move you down here a little bit. Then you take your meter like this, and you measure what you've got in there. And then you've got, it says, oh, that's 313K or 12, right? So wherever this thing ends up is the value you select the closest fixed resistor to to put in parallel with your capacitor that you mount inside your guitar. So all the way at the bottom, she comes down to 10. Right? So he says it works best between 10 and something or other. And I thought, well, okay, I'm going to do the 10 plus. I'm going to be able to go a little bit higher with my capacitor. So that's the way it works. And then you select the resistor based on what you read off of your meter. If you find a value which you like, the combination, to move the frequency response of your pickup. Yeah, so this is a cool little device now. And I've tested it on one of my guitars, and this does make a difference where you put it. So that's the first one. The second one is based on a circuit which WAYLAN has up on his website, and it's another bandpass filter which he calls the green gizmo. And the green gizmo, in this particular case, and this is what we call the series circuit, right? Then the green gizmo puts capacitors in parallel with your pickups in order to find a way to get it to tune, to take out treble and sort of shift the frequency response, the resonant frequency response of your pickup. You can shift it a little bit back and forth depending on a value of capacitor. And in my case, this is very similar to what I do with treble bleed circuits, where I put a capacitor in line with a resistor. I use a 0.001 capacitor, which I bought a bunch of those just separately off of AliExpress, the blue ones. And I usually put a 10K in series with a capacitor. And so what I did on that too is also I wanted to do sort of a so I drew a circuit, and I did something similar where now because this is going to be in parallel with your pickups, it doesn't really matter what's in and out anymore on your box. I'm also putting tip jacks. I'm putting a resistor here that will go to between the on-off switch and the rotary switch, which would be a 12-position switch, which I bought like this. I got 2 of these off of Amazon, not including the tone knob, which I saved off of some Strat. And what I've decided to do is not use position 0 or 12, right there, and just mount the capacitors all on the switch, and then just go through them and rotorize them. And then what I will do is, this one can go to 0, so 0 to 250K in series, or none, right? So 0 to 250K, and then again you got the on-off to be able to test how you how it feels, how it sounds, the tone changes, where you set it. So you have to have that, otherwise if you don't go the on and off where you think it is, it might still not be what you like. The delta between when the switch is off, it's what the normal pickup, and when the switch is on, how you're modifying it with the bandpass filter. So I bought a box. I'm going to use this box. It's an aluminum box. And I'm going to have a layout for that, to put my switch. I bought also 150 capacitors. There's 15 different values in here. Paid 20 bucks for that. 20 bucks for the box. I got 2 switches for around $12.99. I bought a bunch of these jacks. I think I paid about 20 bucks for those as well. I have plenty of pots around. I have plenty of knobs. The knob on this one is a knob I wouldn't use on a guitar because there's a small little defect in it there on the top. So I kept it around just in case I was going to use it for something, and it has a use. I'll put the back cover on that afterwards. So we're going to go through the build of this, and we'll see if we can test it out. I've chosen to use only 10 positions because there's, you know, like the 0 to 10 on the switch, right? Oh, I should say on the knob. There's 12 positions. So I'm not using 0, I'm not using 12. I'm only going to use 1 to 10. So I can dial that in, and then I'm going to know what my value is. I've chosen 10 values from my box, which are similar, but not exactly the same as Wayland's. And you can get his circuit on his website, and I will leave some links in the description to his website, and I think if I can find that again, I'll leave that directly to the circuits if you want to get the circuit. This piece of paper, where is it? This thing is just a picture of what he's giving online. That one's free. This one he sells, this circuit here, and it's $3 New Zealand, which for me was like $2.50 Canadian. So American, it's probably going to be like you know, $1.10 or something like that. So if you want to do something like that and modify it yourself as well, or just go with the way he's done it, if you want to build it, just do that. So go there and buy his circuit. So I've created my own circuit from it, and we're going to build mine my way. Stand by for the next steps. Okay, it's together. It's very, 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 what do you say, rough? Well, worked out okay. All the magic happens there. Yep. It's all wired right. I'll put a list of my capacitors on the side. So when the cover goes on, it'll be my gizmo box. So all we got to do now is test it. There. Very rudimentary. Here's my I put these a little too close. To do it again, I would have moved the switch down and had more space for the binding post. But it's going to work for what I want it to do. It's going to work like that. Yeah.